What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Eternal Wrestling Podcast, where wrestling is eternal. I'm your host, Jacob, and today we're going to be going over the January 12th episode of WWE Monday Night Raw. This episode is coming from Dusseldorf, Germany. Our show starts out with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky making their entrance onto the ramp. They are our new women's tag team champions, and this is their first appearance with the gold. They get into the ring and they have a promo saying that they put the Kabuki Warriors in their place, and the crowd starts chanting, "You deserve it, you deserve it," and that nobody is ready for Rio, which is their tag team name. It says that they're going to lay down a challenge, and any tag team can step up to them. Out comes Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez of Judgment Day, and Liv says that she wants to congratulate them. And then she gets the crowd going and congratulating them. But then Liv Morgan says that those titles belong to me, and we can do this the easy way or the hard way. You could just give them back to me. Or, you know what? She'll win them back. Then the tag team of Bayley and Lyra Valkyria come out. And then the Kabuki Warriors grab a hold of Rhea and Io by the ankles, and they pull them out of the ring and kind of beat them down a little bit. And they slide into the ring. And a big brawl amongst these women's tag teams ensues until eventually Rhea and Io are able to get back up to their feet, slide back into the ring, and they just lay out the Warriors and Lyra Valkyria. Next up, we have AJ Styles in a backstage interview. He mentions that this has become personal with Gunther because he obviously doesn't respect John Cena with the amount of disrespect that he keeps dishing out every week on Cena's name, and John isn't here to defend himself. That's why respect is a hill worth dying on. He wants to make Gunther tap out like a little bitch. He wants to give Gunther a taste of his own medicine tonight in the main event. Next up, we have our first match of the night. Javon Evans taking on Bravo Americano, who is a masked luchador with USA-themed gear. But before we can get to the match, we have a backstage segment within the Judgment Day's clubhouse where Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez approach Finn Balor, and he's back there playing video games WWE 2K, and Liv just straight up asks him, "What are you doing? A couple weeks ago you said you're going to put the Judgment Day on your back. Are you just waiting around for a title shot? You need to stop playing games and get what you want. Make a difference," pretty much. And Roxanne Perez even agrees, and then it kind of gives Finn Balor something to think about, and he says, "Just you watch, girls. Just you watch." Then back to the match, where the bell rings, and we get underway, where Bravo Americano, he also has his faction members ringside, and they are also masked luchadors with American-inspired gear. And looking at their gear, they kind of look like knockoff Power Rangers, I'm not going to lie. It's just a little bit too on the nose with how corny some of these designs are. But with this number advantage, it could make this match an easy 3-on-1 with distractions if they were to take place. And guess what? Before you know it, the leader of the faction, El Grande Americano, he jumps up on the apron, and Javon Evans kicks him in the side of the head. There's lots of athleticism here shown by Javon Evans, and Bravo, he tries to use his air spin on Javon, and then he decides to climb to the top turnbuckle, and he strikes a pose, which is his downfall here, allowing Javon to fly off the top rope, and he climbs up on another top turnbuckle, jumps off, and hits an OG cutter, getting the 1-2-3 pin. These luchadors start attacking Javon, and they toss him over the announce table, and then Javon, he ends up standing on top of the barricade behind the announce table, and all three of them go to rush him. But he's so athletic, he's able to jump over them, roll into the ring, and run back down the entranceway. We then have a backstage segment where Paul Heyman is talking to General Manager Adam Pearce. And Adam says that if Braun Breaker shows up with bad intentions tonight, he needs to leave the arena because he's not in the mood for games. He is definitely not putting up with any crap tonight. We then have CM Punk making his way to the ring, and he says that it's a privilege to be the heavyweight champion, and he wants to be champion forever. And he does bring up Cody losing his world championship. He then mentions that he wants to be a fighting champion, and that the road to WrestleMania goes through Punk, and he's ready for his next challenger. The lights get a little dark, music starts to play, and Finn Balor, the Prince, makes his way to the ring. Once he's inside, Balor says that he's not waiting for the Rumble or the Elimination Chamber, because he wants a title match now, is what he's alluding to. And Punk's is asking Finn, where's your ambition been? You've been backstage playing video games. It seems you've been waiting around for weeks for something. But he does mention that he is a fan of Finn Balor, and Punk wants the match tonight. He wants it right now. But Balor says timing is everything, and that he will give Punk a fight, but he won't be alone. Balor wants to face Punk next week in Ireland, his home country. And Punk says that, sadly, I'm going to have to disappoint the Irish countrymen when I beat you next week. Next up, we have a triple threat women's tag team match to determine the number one contenders for the women's tag team titles, where we have the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, against Bayley and Lyra Valkyria versus Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez. I thought this was kind of interesting. We had 3 women to start the match, when in other times we've had 2 women start the match, then everybody else has to tag in. Kairi, Bayley, and Lyra are on the top rope. They're all fighting, trying to get a suplex or something going on. Then, being sneaky as they are, Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez are able to knock them all down off the top rope into the ring. Kairi Sane goes for a crossbody on Lyra, but Bayley is able to tag herself in, hitting a flying elbow drop on Kairi, and Asuka is barely able to stop the pinfall, making the save here. Roxanne Perez hits her move, the Pop Rocks, on Bayley, but Kairi Sane is able to stop this very close pinfall. Liv Morgan is able to then tag herself in, but Kairi doesn't see this and doesn't realize it. This allows Liv Morgan to hit her finishing move, the Oblivion, on Kairi, getting her team the win and becoming the number one contenders, who will face Rhea and Io at Saturday night's main event on January 24th. I like this match personally. It was definitely very chaotic. Even though things are predetermined, it would make sense in any scenario how people could forget who's tagged in or who's the legal person. There was great action between everybody. All the teams had great chemistry, I thought. I just am a little surprised that they're putting Liv Morgan in a championship situation so soon. I would like to see Rhea and Io hold on to the belts for a little while, but then again, I am a big Rhea fan, so that does make me biased. Next up, we see a vignette from Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch. She says that there's corruption within the Raw management, and she's going to take lemons and turn them into lemonade. And even Sports Illustrated is saying she is the best woman wrestler of all time. And then next week, she's going to put an end to Maxine Dupree. We then have a backstage interview with Maxine Dupree, mentioning if she gets, and she is asked about her mindset going into the match next week. And she says that she had to learn how to believe in herself in order to become champion. And she wishes her friend Otis and Tozawa the same. And she even mentions that Becky had to cheat to beat her, and next week she's going to break her ankle with an ankle lock. So it's nice to see some more aggression from Maxine in this promo, instead of being, just a happy, chipper kind of baby face. Then we have an interview. This is on the ramp, the entranceway. It was Raquel Rodriguez, and Michael Cole's asking her, why did you attack Stephanie? What is your intentions here? And she says, you all want to be sorry for Stephanie, but you all should know that I keep coming and will keep coming until I become world champion. So she's has her eyes on the prize. She's not going to stop attacking Stephanie until she gets that gold. And here out comes Stephanie, still in the walking boot. She's staring down Raquel, and she kind of turns her back and outruns Raquel again, attacking her booted up ankle. And security has to run her off eventually. But before they run her off, she grabs the women's championship belt and starts swinging it and smacking Stephanie's injured ankle that's still in the boot. We then get a backstage segment where Jey Uso, he's just hanging in the back, and up come Otis and Tozawa. And they're trying to hint to Jey that they want a tag team title match, until finally Otis is like, I'm serious. I want a title match. And this kind of took Jey back. He's like, whoa, okay then. Well, essentially he was like, if you want to step up, you're going to get it. And that he's pretty much going to defend Hardcore. Speaking of tag teams, we have Bronson Reed and Austin Theory facing the Luchadors, Dragon Lee and Penta. Penta and Dragon Lee, they're working very well as a tag team here, even using some double team maneuvers to take down the power and size of Bronson Reed. And Penta and Dragon Lee, they ended up super kicking Bronson Reed, his partner Austin Theory, and even the accompanying Logan Paul, as he was trying to stick his nose in the match, because we don't like Logan Paul here. This was a really good match, and there's a lot of action, back and forth, fast-paced. The crowd was very much into it, and a disqualifications as Braun Breaker, the leader of the division, comes running down the entrance ramp, and he spears Dragon Lee, and then he runs in the ring starts hitting the ropes, and he spears Penta as well. And I just feel like this is a terrible end here to such a fun match that was happening. I just would have liked to see the end of it. Honestly, was really hoping Penta and Dragon Lee would win, but this is what happened. So, as Adam Pearce said, I don't want to see Braun Breaker if he's going to cause trouble here. And out comes Pearce with security. He is red hot. He is pissed. And he gets in Braun Breaker's face, telling him to leave and go home. And this allows Bronson Reed to climb on the top rope and jump off, hitting his big tsunami splash on top of Penta. So Penta's writhing in pain. And then Pearce, gets into the ring to try to, break up what's going on in there. And then Breaker, he slips out and around and he runs around the ring, spearing Dragon Lee. And then, everybody's kind of in the ring now. And Braun Breaker, he's got his back to Pearce. And Pearce is he's getting really red-faced. He's so angry. He grabs on Braun Breaker, spins him around, yelling at him. And then Braun Breaker eventually pushes Adam Pearce in the corner of the ring, and he's almost choking him out, and the rest of the division have to pull him off of Pearce, and they start, heading back up the entrance way. And I've never really seen Adam Pearce this mad. He's cursing. Like I said, his face is red. Paul Heyman's trying to calm him down so Pearce doesn't suspend Braun Breaker. Or then we see in another little backstage segment, Dragon Lee and Penta are getting checked over by medical. They're kind of crouched over, they're hurting. In comes Javon Evans into the room. And then we cut to another backstage area where Braun Breaker and the Vision, they're walking down a hallway. Here comes Adam Pearce behind Braun Breaker. He's yelling at him, look at me, I'm talking to you. Look at me when I'm talking to you. And Pearce is so mad, spit is just flying out of his mouth. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to suspend you indefinitely. Talking to Braun Breaker. And people in the Vision, Logan Paul and Bronson Reed, they're what's going on? Oh no. Paul Heyman said to Pearce, that's probably the worst mistake you've ever made, because from my point of view, you laid hands on him first. And Paul Heyman's right. He did put hands on Braun Breaker, spin him around, but Braun was causing a lot of mayhem, and he put his hands on Pearce. So it's hard to say here. Maybe Paul Heyman could use the situation as leverage in a way if he wants to, because he's definitely manipulative of the WWE politics with his character and getting his people who he manages into very favorable situations. So we will definitely be seeing where that goes. And now it's main event time. But before the match, we have an interview with Gunther. And of course, Gunther has to refer to how he made John Cena tap out like a little bitch, and that AJ should be scared. And then he makes his entrance, and the match begins. So AJ, he's trying to go toe-to-toe here with a larger Gunther, and he's putting up a pretty good fight, but Gunther is able to knock him down, chop him down, but AJ does focus on the leg of Gunther, and goes for a submission move called the calf killer, and he makes Gunther crawl his way to get a rope break, and he definitely focuses on the legs throughout the course of this match. I will say AJ Styles, even though he is older, and this is his last year of being a professional wrestler, he's still hitting those acrobatic moves off the top rope, flipping on a Gunther, and as I was saying, AJ did target the leg, and what eventually happens is Gunther does tap out, but he does it on his left side, tapping out where the ref can't see. And this, AJ, he doesn't see what the ref sees. So this, he lets go. He's like, hey ref, he tapped out. What's going on? Why don't you ring the bell? And then the ref, he's talking to the announcer lady, which allows Gunther to get a low blow on AJ, and he delivers a power bomb for the win. And after the match, Gunther is proclaiming he's the greatest of all time, but the crowd starts chanting, you tapped out, you tapped out. And this could be used as an easy segue to get back to a rematch, maybe at the Royal Rumble or WrestleMania, but I really do wish AJ would have beat Gunther here and put Gunther in his place. And then it would only infuriate Gunther more, but he is building Gunther up for something, as he has retired Goldberg and John Cena, and it's really looking like he might be the one to retire AJ whenever AJ's final match is. I will say my overall feeling about this episode is that the action definitely kept going, and we got a lot of new story beats, or even some seeds planted going forward here, where there could be a potential 6-man tag team match where Javon teams up with Dragon Lee and Penta against the Vision. I think that would be very interesting, because that team is made up of a bunch of high flyers if they were to all tag, and Javon Evans is very exciting to watch. In that way, they wouldn't be outnumbered too badly if they did decide to take it to the division. And also next Monday is going to be very interesting with the world title match between Finn and Punk. And I doubt they're going to do it. But hey, WWE is starting to look like anything can happen and nothing is guaranteed. But if Finn Balor was to win the world title, I would probably be jumping off my couch, screaming, losing my mind, because I'm such a big Finn Balor fan. He has been one of my favorites for a long time. And I just don't think he's been used the best. And I mean, he could talk and he can put on great matches. And he also has that really cool demon gimmick if he were to use that or go back to it. He did say in an interview with Cody Rhodes on Cody Rhodes' podcast that if he were to appear as a demon again, he would want to be able to have more creative control over that aspect of his character. And since next Monday night is in Ireland, we also have Becky defending her title. So since Finn and Becky are both Irish, definitely some spotlight matches within the card for them in their home country. So definitely interesting episode of Raw. And it seems like WWE isn't going to take their foot off the gas here going into the Royal Rumble season. And with SmackDown, they're making SmackDown much more interesting since it's 3 hours. So I can't say enough good things about this episode. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun, kept me engaged and interested the whole way. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the podcast. And as always, if you're listening in the morning or night, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you again. Catch you in the next one.